So code is what type? String type, and it is as of now empty. There is no code. We will write a functionality here. That means this class will use what implements on init. And we will write here ng on init. Ng on init. This dot code is equal to, I have to get the random code from this method. Understood? What is the method? Generate code. It is returning a string. I want to use that here. That you can access through CAPTCHA. That means I am accessing CAPTCHA. It is not available here. I am using this keyword, that CAPTCHA is not there. That means now how you will handle this, that is the specialty of dependency injection. You can make this with an access modifier private. If you make this with an access modifier private binds this with the current class and prevents access outside the class and gives access anywhere inside class. That means it prevents access outside the class and gives access anywhere inside the class. Private is not just restricting the member, but also allowing the member to use inside class. Many people ask like, can I use public? You can use public also, but I don't want to access outside the class. Then you have to make it as private. Once you make it private, it makes the scope of this member to only this class. Then what happens now? You can see now through this I can access CAPTCHA. And this CAPTCHA can be accessed this generate code, which will return a random code. And this code we will display in HTML of login. In login HTML, here we will display what is it? Code. That means, see, there is a lot of logic for random number. To generate a random number. This all we are not writing, just we are using only one line here. Understood? What is that line? We are just injecting that service and using it. In a registration form you want, inject and use. That means into registration constructor, inject this and access that method and use it. Now you see now, here you can see, so there is a random number. I click on refresh. Once you see another number will come. It is generating a random. Of course, you can put buttons, functionality. Suppose you see where here I added a button. So in that button, I am adding a span. In that class, I will give class BI, suppose arrow, circle, clockwise, something. Arrow clockwise is a button. And for this, we will put a class BTN. And you can see there is some arrow like this. And when I click on that button, it should reload some new code. Then what we will do for this button, we write a click. So new code, we will put that new code. And here we will write a function. What is that function? Sorry, not function, method. Yeah, public, what is it? New code. So it is a void type. And what this new code have to do, it have to generate the code again. Am I right? You can put in a method and call if you want reusability. Now you can see what happens when I click on this. A new code will be generated every time. A new random code will be generated every time. This is not CAPTCHA, right? Don't think that we return CAPTCHA. So we just implemented such concept using a topic of service. Right? We are not doing any CAPTCHA here. Just that logical idea we got here. That means without writing the logic, you just inject it anywhere you want. That is a predefined service advantage. This is very helpful everywhere now. Suppose you are working with APIs and lot of data related logic you have to write in every component. then you can put in one service and you can inject that into your components. That is how we can manage. This is a built-in service actually. This is a built-in service. Now see the interesting part. Provider is defined here in app module. In app module, I am not using this captcha service. I am not using that captcha service. Now see what happens. Error. See the error. Inspect. In the inspect, you can see the error in the console. Let's check what is the error. Error is see null injector, no provider. This is the same problem you got previously, am I right? And see the interesting point here. So it shows that node injector factory, component factory. Anywhere am I using factory like concept? No, but internally it is using the word factory because it knows that service is a collection of factories, right? So many times, remember, majority of any Angular tutorial, you will not see the word factory. Anybody talking about factory. Officially, you will not see the word at all. But internally, architecturally, there is a concept of factory. Nobody about Angular talking about factory anywhere. But you will have a factory concept. It is spoken by the people who are working at architecture level. Right? So the factory is missing. That means having some problem now. Now see what happens. You don't need to register here. You can define at service level itself. Here in injectable, to that injector, you tell here provided in at which location, root level. That means you can see provided in is an option. We have options like root. We have option like any and platform. 3 options are there. What is difference between 3? I will tell you. One is root. Root means search for this service in application level memory. Application level memory means entire application. Platform means search for this only in this module. Actually, in an application, you can have several modules, which you will learn in next level. We can create modules also. That means, suppose you saw bank application, personal banking, NRI banking. Personal banking is one module. NRI banking is another module. You can have service for every module independent. Now, if you want this service to work only for specific module, then you have to use platform. If you want to use only for this application, entire application anywhere, then you have to use root. You want this service to be used outside this application. That means some another project also can access it. Then you have to mark it as any. Any means you can access this service outside this project. Root means you can access this only inside the project. Platform means you can access only a module inside the project, not everywhere in the project. That depends how you define. At application level means what you have to give root. Now see what I am giving. Root now. Provider is there now. Now you can see it is again working fine. You give the provider here or you define the provider in app module. What is difference of mentioning provider in service? This will be located only when it is required. This is lazy loading. Understood? Lazy loading means it will load your service into memory only when it is needed. The previous one is eager loading. You are loading in app module. That means even it is not in use, it is in the memory. That is eager loading. Some services we want to get ready at the time of loading application because we have to use from different places of application. Then we can go with the concept of what? Eager loading. We have lazy loading, another one eager loading. So this is one concept of a service. Providers. provider. You write the provider at service level or you define it app module level. Okay. Now, once you know this, now we will use our own services. Our own services. These are own services only. Built-in services like HTTP client, routing, and other services. You have several validation services, forms validation services are there that we'll see in next session. Monday we will do that. Okay. This all example I will upload into classroom, right? And Monday we will discuss about how do we deal with built-in service, connecting with APIs using, instead of fetch, now we will use the services of Angular to communicate with APIs. Okay. Monday we'll see that.